It was Saturday, August 16th, 1980, and the town of Weston, Merseyside, was soaking up one of those long summer evenings that seemed to go on forever. Children played in the streets, neighbors lingered in conversation, and the air still held the warmth of the day. For 11-year-old best friends John Greenwood and Gary Miller, it was just another day of adventure. They had spent hours together laughing and playing before sitting down for tea at Gary's house on Raleigh Avenue. As the evening settled in, the boys decided to head back out. Their destination was a place familiar to local kids, the old Tip-Off Pottery Lane, a disused colliery that would later become part of Stott Moors Park. To the children of the area, it was more than just an abandoned site. With overgrown paths, grassy tracks, and piles of discarded rubbish, it was a hidden playground full of excitement and discovery. In those days, kids roamed freely, and places like this carried a certain thrill. For John and Gary, it was just another summer night's adventure. At around 7 p.m., John and Gary left Gary's home and began walking the familiar streets toward the disused colliery. The summer sun was dipping lower, but the evening still felt bright. Neither boy could have known they were heading toward a meeting that would end their young lives. At about 7:20 p.m., a local man walking his dog noticed someone crouched down on the colliery grounds, appearing to be, in his words, banging something. Moments later, after the figure had gone, the man decided to take a closer look. What he found would stay with him forever. Underneath a discarded mattress, he heard faint moans. Lifting it, he discovered John Greenwood and Gary Miller, both badly injured and fighting for their lives. Horrified, he called 999. When police and paramedics arrived, the boys were still alive but in critical condition. They were rushed to Weston Hospital, where surgeons worked through the night. Both had fractured skulls, injuries believed to have come from their heads being slammed against the ground. Despite desperate surgery, John Greenwood died in the early hours of Sunday morning. Gary Miller held on for several more days but never regained consciousness. He too passed away. A post-mortem later revealed that one of the boys had also been strangled with a rope. There was no sign of sexual assault, leaving the motive unclear. The attack shocked the close-knit community. Weston was a place where children played freely and neighbors looked out for each other. Now, the town was shaken to its core. The dog. Walker, who found the boys, reported seeing a lone white man nearby, around 35 years old, dark hair swept back, wearing a brown jacket. Police never identified him. But soon, their attention turned to 20-year-old John Cheeseman, a local man known for his scruffy appearance and oversized brown jacket. Cheeseman often hung around with local boys and volunteered at the Scout Hut. On August 16th, his own birthday, he was brought into custody. There, he gave police a chilling confession. He admitted attacking the boys after they mocked him, saying he beat them until he believed they were dead. He then described using a rope on one of them before leaving the scene. The detail about the rope was especially damning, because at that time, it had never been made public. The rope detail in Cheeseman's confession seemed damning. At that stage, the pathologist had not disclosed it publicly, suggesting Cheeseman knew something only the killer could know. But soon, serious doubts emerged. His defense argued that Cheeseman had the mental age of a 10-year-old and should never have been questioned without a lawyer or guardian present. Yet those safeguards weren't in place. In May 1981, he stood trial at Liverpool Crown Court. Families hoped for justice, but the case quickly fell apart. The defense highlighted errors in police procedure, and Cheeseman was acquitted of murder. Under the double jeopardy laws of the time, he could never be tried again, no matter what evidence came forward. To the families, what was meant as protection for the accused became a barrier to justice. Over the years, other names surfaced. A Sunday Times investigation pointed to Robert Fisher, who died in 1991. After his death, his wife Ethel reportedly told friends she knew he had killed the boys. She allegedly took her own life in 1999, unable to carry the burden of guilt. Police had also appealed for information about 3 boys, aged 12 to 14, seen near a church hall around the time of the murders. Investigators believed they may have witnessed something vital, but those boys were never identified. For John's younger sister, Debbie, the tragedy shaped her life. Just 2 years old at the time, she grew up hearing stories of the brother who used to sing to her and look out for her. She later admitted, "We lost my mom in 2021, and that was heartbreaking. But another heartbreak is knowing she never saw justice. Gary's mom is now in her 80s. My dad's in his 70s, and they might never get answers." Gary's mother, Alma, described her son and John simply as normal 11-year-old children who did nobody any harm. She still lives with the image of what was done to them. John's mother, Barbara, echoed her words. "We feel we've let the boys down because they never had their justice. The years after the murders were marked by missed opportunities and devastating failures. In 2008, a review revealed that key forensic evidence had been lost or destroyed, deepening the family's pain. Then in 2016, hope flickered. The case was reopened after a Sunday Times investigation uncovered fresh leads. A social media campaign urged witnesses to come forward, and some who had remained silent for decades finally shared what they knew. Police appealed to trace 2 boys allegedly assaulted by an older man just weeks before the murders, and to identify a youth known as Duffy or Cuffy, seen with another boy at Whiston Labor Club the very day John and Gary were attacked. But in 2019, the families were dealt another crushing blow. Then Chief Constable Andy Cook admitted the original investigation had fallen far short of modern standards and issued a formal apology. Yet the Director of Public Prosecutions concluded there was still not enough evidence to proceed. For the families, it was the justice they had longed for, once again slipping away. For John's sister Debbie, giving up has never been an option. On the 40th anniversary of the murders, she made a public plea. "Our hearts were broken 40 years ago, and they've never healed. I see the pain in my parents' faces every day. It's not too late to do the right thing. You could be the one who makes the difference. And to the person who killed the boys, I promise you this: I will never give up. I will never stop fighting for justice." Today, more than 4 decades later, the murders of John Greenwood and Gary Miller remain unsolved. For their families, grief has stretched into generations, magnified by police failings and the barrier of double jeopardy laws. For the town of Whiston, the case is a chilling reminder that even in small, close-knit communities, unimaginable violence can shatter, lives forever. The investigation remains open. Merseyside police continue to urge anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward.